Just relax and enjoy this time, this sacred space, this peaceful home, and all it has for you today. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom, oh yeah, for me and for you. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Yes, it is. Oh, I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Oh, it is a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Oh, I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Want to sing it again one more time? Let's do it. Where's Nancy and Ed? I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom, yeah, for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh yes, I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. Seeing friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning. And welcome to this wonderful day in this wonderful world. And thank you for welcoming it with wonderful music. We are so glad that you all are here with us. Those of you who are here live at 300 West Seneca Turnpike, and those of you who are watching us through live streaming. My name is Patsy Scala, and I'm your platform assistant for today. And now I'd like to read the daily word. It is reflection. I reflect the brilliant light of God. God, the one presence and power in the universe, is expressing through all people the natural world, and all other aspects of life. If I ever doubt the presence of God, I need only behold the world around me. The light of God is being reflected in the kind words and acts of people, in the beauty and magnificence of nature, and in life's grand rhythms and minuscule moments. I too reflect the brilliance of God, my ideas, dreams, and all that I do to make my mark on the world are just some of the ways the divine expresses uniquely as me. Living from my divinity, I bring more of God's light into the world. And from Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. And all of us, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. So I was thinking about this yesterday as I sat outside on my deck, watching the hummingbirds flying around, making glorious circles in the air, chasing one another. And as I watched the beauty of nature around me, other birds, chipmunks and squirrels running around, and I realized hummingbirds may be a representation of joy in indigenous cultures, just as squirrels that were running around are a representation of gathering. But they're all a reflection of God. And I looked around me at the beauty of the trees, the beauty of nature, the animals, the feeling of warmth in the air, the sunshine on my back, and I thought, I am sitting in a reflection of God. We all are sitting in a reflection of God, no matter where we are. So, remember that. And now it's time that our youth join their teachers at the back of the sanctuary, and parents, you can pick them up after the service. They're in good hands right now. And I have a few announcements. Bulletin boards are being refreshed. In case you were bored with them, they're being refreshed. If you had something, check the area and either repost it or recycle it. And we thank you for that. Now, Armand and Angelina are coming on August 6th and 7th. You know that. Their offerings are downstairs online, and pick up flyers. And they're downstairs on the table. Put them up wherever you go so that we can draw a large group of people to hear them. I've heard that they're really good. And so we want to bring people in and let them hear the music and feel the warmth of our church. So, our next potluck dinner is going to be on August 6th, and it has a theme: World Heritage Potluck. So bring some food that your people eat. Now, our beloved Maria Gonzalez does this every single Sunday, and she feeds us magnificent food, but whatever the people that you grew up with eat, bring it. Let us taste your heritage. I know I'll be bringing something from the South because I grew up in the South. So I'll be bringing probably something fried, because most foods in the South are fried. So, but I will be bringing something. Bring something from your youth, your heritage. Okay, next announcement. The board is seeking applicants to be on the Power of Focused Ministry panel. Please see Natasha or Jacob, both of whom are in the back of the church. They've put out a newsletter, information in the newsletter, and talk to them about focused ministry. It's all about our church being guided by a message rather than by a ministry. So talk to Jacob and Natasha. They have attended many workshops about this, and they are sort of spearheading our movement. Okay. July 23rd, the YFM field trip to feed ducks at Webster Pond, and then to Gannon's for ice cream. If you know of any youngsters who would like to attend, it's June 23rd. Contact our office. We need permission slips for the young people. And if there are any other people who would like to feed ducks, any people who are, like, say, my age, would like to feed ducks and eat ice cream, you're welcome also. And now I would like to call our board president, Dr. Leland Jackson, up to make a special announcement.
I just want to continue our acknowledgement of our tithes and where they're going out. And so for the month of June, we had a total of $790 go out in tithes to First Unity Worldwide Ministries, Silent Unity, and then the Eastern region. And then our special to our local organization that we tithe to is Interfaith Works, and then the Unity Ministry in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania was our other, where the other one went. So that's where our tithes went this last month. Thank you all.
Thank you, Leland. And at this point, I would like to welcome our guests. Unity is a positive, practical approach to Christianity. We are culturally Christian and spiritually unlimited. We honor the many paths to God. And I would like to warmly welcome our guests. Do we have any people who are here for the first time? I think we have one person here for the first time, and one person back who is sort of a member of our congregation from another part of the country. So we welcome everyone. And now, if you would stand and greet our neighbors, giving thanks to all the beings that give us light and sustain us in our life together. We greet each other with a bow, a wave. We honor each other. And if you would remain standing, we'll say together our statement of being. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with these perfect love and perfect substance. And now if you would be seated. Unity has 5 basic principles, guideposts, tested by experience, reminding us how divine presence weaves through our lives. We live by these principles. Principle 1, God is the source and creator of all. God is good and present everywhere. Number 2, we are spiritual beings created in God's image. Number 3, we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. And number 4, there is power in affirmative prayer. 5, we live these spiritual principles. So now I ask, have any of you experienced the power of these principles during the week? Maybe 2 people. Yes. The usher is bringing you a microphone. Actually, it's the prayer chaplain bringing you a microphone, but...
So last night, Spirit told me that I was going to come today and speak. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, no, I'm too tired. I'm going to stay in bed. And I turned on Abundant Life and they had a guest speaker. And I was listening to him. And he was saying, wherever the Lord is leading you, you go. And when they sit, you stand. And I'm like, okay, God, I don't have anything to wear. What am I going to do? And it was late. And I was told to put the dress on, put the hat on, put my hair up, let's go. And so I got here, and I'm like, okay, this is what I was supposed to say. It was the Saturday before Father's Day, and I was working at Amazon, and I do counting. And I was having dinner that night with a friend, and I couldn't remember her daughter's name. I'm like, what is her name? What is her name? And the next pod came, and I went to scan it, and it was a box, and it said, Mama Bear. And then the next one I had to scan said Mama Bear. And then the next one I scanned said Mama Bear, and I'm like, what is this box? It says Mama Bear. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's food. I said, I would have thought it was a teddy bear, and her name is Teddy. My friend's daughter's name is Teddy. So the next day, on Father's Day, I'm walking Whitechapel Cemetery, and there were receipts on the ground. So I started picking them up, and I went to throw them away. And behind the garbage can was this big, tall pine tree. And I'm looking, and I'm like, what is it I see? What's in there? And I started to pull the branches away. I'm like, oh, my God, you're mine. And there was a little white teddy in the tree. And today, Spirit dressed me like my teddy. So.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Ed?
Okay. Well, this is just, I don't know, it's what I would call personal, but I just have to tell everybody because, my wife doesn't even know because I go upstairs before she does at night. And for a couple, 2 or 3 weeks now, I've been doing like I did when I was a kid. I would kneel, put my hands together and pray, and not for something, but thanking God, Lord, for the goodness that I had received that day. And I've been finding out since I've been doing this, recognizing this and thanking and telling God I love you, it seems like every day, because there's a lot of stress going on right now with my sisters and my daughter and health. But since I've been praying, things have been happening in their lives and in my life that were good, that made me happy to see that it happened. And so I'm blaming this happiness on my praying at night and thanking God. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And speaking of prayer, we're now moving into the blessing of the prayers. As you know, unity was founded on prayer. Prayer is still the major focus of unity. So, will the prayer chaplain on duty raise your hand? It's Nancy Hazard back there. A prayer chaplain is available to pray with you here after service. In this case, it would be Nancy. And would you bring the prayer box forward? In this prayer box are written requests we've collected this week. We invite you to add yours at any time, in writing, or in your heart or mind. Written prayer intentions are sealed here in confidence for 30 days. We don't look at them. We simply pray over them. We then send them to Silent Unity, where they're held for an additional 30 days. At Unity Village, the Silent Unity service has been holding prayer vigil for over 130 consecutive years. You can reach them day or night by calling 1-816-969-2000, and a chaplain will pray with you. At this time, hold your prayers in your heart, and we ask our prayer chaplain, Nancy, to pray over the prayers.
Yes, please join me. You may choose to extend your hands toward the prayer box, place them on your heart, and know that these pieces of paper that have been placed in this box, the prayers that you hold in your heart, are indeed reflections of divine love. Our faith in the divine, in divine wisdom, the guidance that we're each provided, that inner voice, the divine grace that assures us of the highest and best. We are so incredibly grateful. Our hearts swell with that profound gratitude as we say, Amen.
Before the music starts, I would like to warmly welcome our speaker today, my very dear friend, CYBIE MAURO, who will be telling us how to waste not, want not.
So just stay in that place of prayer if you would, and I'm just thinking, I wrote it in my book, that we create our life experiences through our way of thinking today. So this song is for each and every one of you. It's been for me many times, for Carol many times, and now we just want it to be your words for today so that you may see certain portions of your life have the opportunity of changing. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I say of me, I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Thank you so much. Is that didn't want to clap? You want to go? Appreciate that way. So I'll move this first of all. Patsy, I'm moving your cheat sheet so I can have mine. And good morning. All right, my name is CYBIE MAURO, and thank you for that lovely introduction, Patsy. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. And yesterday, the sanctuary was filled with love. Love and celebration for my good friend and many people's good friends, Mike Berman. Passed away. He made his transition 2 weeks ago today. And Carol and Julian are with us this morning, and we had a beautiful, wonderful celebration yesterday. The peace lilies and this vase of flowers and one downstairs remain from the memorial service. It was filled, this place was filled with so much love. And so our condolences to you both. Mike was a dear friend of mine and a dear, gentle soul. And as I said yesterday, one of my favorite expressions he gave to me, which was, "The mind is a dangerous neighborhood. I never go there without a flashlight and a gun." So I have been preparing for 2 weeks the memorial service. I have spent all my time and energy on that. And so yesterday at 3 o'clock when I got home, I thought, I've got to do a talk tomorrow. And I thought, I don't have enough time. And I realized, I got the message back that said, you have prepared for this talk your whole life. this moment, how we show up in this moment, my life has been the preparation for this moment. And so I say that to you. So I'll start my story on Waste Not, Want Not with a little joke. And it's going to I'll see how many of you are really sharp. Get the punchline, okay? So a very, very wealthy man was near death. He was on his deathbed, and he had worked really hard for his wealth, and he wanted desperately to take it with him. So he prayed and he prayed to God, and God finally said, okay, you can take one suitcase of anything you want. So he found the biggest suitcase he had, and very belaboredly, he put in the suitcase as many gold bars as would fit. A week later, he passed, and he went to the pearly gates, and St. Peter met him and said, you can't take that in here. You can't bring anything with you. And he said, oh, yes, but God gave me permission. And he said, oh, well, okay. So he said, but he wanted to inspect what was in the bag. He was actually very curious about what this man would want to bring with him to heaven. So he opened it up, and there he sees all these gold bars, and he looks very quizzically at the man, and he said, why would you bring paving stones? The streets of heaven are paved with gold. Okay. All right, some of you were right there. Well, anyway, this is what we do. We strive, we accumulate, we work hard, we do all that to achieve and accomplish and make our lives better. This morning I was on Facebook for a minute, and I saw Jacobs had a little cartoon, and it said, constant striving makes for constant stress. And that, I thought, wow, that fits with today. And so have you noticed that pretty much we live in an inner world, a mental world of wanting? You know, that's the ego's world. The ego's dream of happiness is more, better, faster, different. It's just there's always something to improve on, change, whatever it is. And so we're always left with this feeling of not enough, lack, limitation, etc. And Pat Donahue, one of my favorite singers, wrote a song called Never Enough. Money, time, or love, there's never enough. And so I have a quote here from Don Miguel Ruiz from his book, not The Four Agreements, a different book. Anyway, existing within this as soon as I have this, or once I do this, wait a minute, I gotta read it again. Existing within this as soon as I have this, or once I do that, mentally chains us to the belief that we are not free to live our lives and enjoy them. Wow. So true. We live in a world of if only. If only I had this. If only they would do that. If only, then I will have what I want. I will be happy. We're always striving to get something in the next moment because something's lacking for our happiness, fulfillment, or contentment in this moment. At least that's what we think. And so we are striving and efforting, or we're resisting what is in this moment. We don't want something to be there. We want it to be different. And then sometimes we just feel overwhelmed with all this. And that may lead to being discouraged, disillusioned, even depressed. And we feel helpless and hopeless. And so we live in a world of do, have, be. If I do this, I'll have that, and then I'll be happy, content, fulfilled, etc. It's backwards. It should be, do, have. Jesus told us to seek ye first the kingdom, and all else will be granted unto you. And so be in that place of contentment. Be in that gratitude. And then you'll be inspired to do what is yours to do, and then you'll have everything that you need. It will come to you. So Ed, I loved your testimony this morning. It was a perfect example of this. His gratitude is not gratitude for things. It's gratefulness for all. And in that, it's a generative power, not a reaction to what has been given to you. So last week, Reverend Yeagel's talk was beautiful on divine DNA, and she's told us that we're all made in the image and likeness of God, and as such, because God is creator, we are also creators. And the third principle, which so beautifully is reflected in your song today, that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Our words become our power of creation. And words meaning thoughts, beliefs, and so on. Our deeds, our words, our interactions. So, and held in mind, not just a fleeting thought, but held in mind. So I was thinking about this and I thought, well, how do you know that you practice? You practice on being impeccable with your word. Ray pointed out in our discussion group on Tuesday that Reverend Yeagel's talk was a perfect follow-up to the study of the four agreements that we had just finished. He said, our words become the power of creating. And in that book, the first principle is be impeccable with your word. Make sure that your word, your thoughts, your beliefs are in alignment with the truth that God is present everywhere and is in the allness of all that is. And so it aligns with the truth of your being as a divine child of God, and so that our word becomes our tool that we can use. So it takes practice to think on these things. And so in I think it was Philippians, Paul was telling the Philippians, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So her invitation and my invitation is to don't waste time on the negative thoughts, the thoughts of lack and limitation, but embrace thoughts that Paul has pointed out, the lovely, the true, the pure, the beautiful. And once you make that a practice, then it will become second nature. So I was thinking about that, and I was at my computer, and I saw the screen, the Google screen comes up, and there are the little icons at the little circles at the bottom, icons. And lo and behold, they're icons of things I visit frequently, right? I mean, it might be the World of Solitaire. It might be unity.org. It might be the weather. Whatever is you visit frequently, that computer is keeping track of those those sites that you visit frequently. And eventually, if you don't visit one of those, and you find yourself visiting another one frequently, one will disappear and another one will pop up that you visited more often. That's the way it works with our minds. If we practice focusing on the good, the true, the beautiful, then we don't have to push away anything. It will begin to replace that negative thinking. So we replace our default thinking by practicing using a different focus. So Jesus told us that we need to, why do we need to be anxious? In his Sermon on the Mount, which is, it's so beautiful, he said, and why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O men of little faith? And he says, why are you anxious for anything? And truly, our anxiety comes from this fear of not having what we think we need or want. And yet, with Reverend Yackel's talk, she encouraged us to take on this practice. And the truth is that fourth principle of the fourth agreement is do your best. So it's not about beating yourself up if you're not doing something perfectly or so on and so forth. It is about doing your best, accepting yourself in the moment, and by doing your best, let go and let God. The best you can do is let the divine imagination, which is much greater than our finite imagination, let that divine imagination bring forth what it is you desire. And she said, what we desire really are divine ideas. We desire to have that fulfillment of divine ideas like love and peace, forgiveness. Those are divine ideas in which, why do you want anything? You think it will bring you something. Remember, it's be in that state of peace in order to be inspired to do something, and then you'll have something else. So, we can shift our attitude. Our lives are filled with I should, I must, I ought, obligations. One of the ways we can shift our thinking into a more positive frame, shift our attitude, is to change the phrase have to. I have to go babysit for my grandchildren. I get to babysit for my grandchildren. Do you see the difference? I have to do a talk at church. I get to do a talk at church. It becomes an opportunity. It becomes a moment of opening for service. So it's quite beautiful. So one of the reasons I chose this title, I was up at the St. Lawrence when Carol texted me about Mike's transition. And I was like, wow, I had not been to visit them, Carol and Mike, and their beautiful property since before the pandemic. Why did I waste? And I thought of them often. Mike's birthday is the same as one of my sons. I thought of them often. Why did I waste my time not acting on that thought and inspiration? So, and Mike's passing was sudden. And so, do we want to have regret when someone we love passes? No. We want to know that we didn't waste our thoughts, our time, that we didn't focus on those gold bars, whatever they might be, the baggage that we carry around of our, accumulation and wanting. We want to, don't waste our love. Don't waste and don't wait. And the other one is that a month ago, my neighbor, he's a man, a robust man, very active, physical, repairs his house, does everything. And he was at work, and it was during the night, and he felt a sensation in his body, and then he couldn't stand up. They rushed him to the hospital, did an MRI, and when he came out, they said, you'll be in surgery, emergency open heart surgery, in less than half an hour. Do you have a phone? Call your loved ones. In other words, you may not survive this. And he was told afterwards that almost nobody survives this condition. Alex not only survived it, he's now walking the street 3 times a day, very slowly, with one of his 4 children at his side, up to the end of the street and back, very slowly. But in a heartbeat, literally, our lives can change. Our focus of what we appreciate in life shifts. And suddenly anything that all the gold bars that we thought we wanted mean nothing. So we're under the illusion that we always have tomorrow. And yet, I also last week had a birthday. And now I'm closer to 80 than I am to 70. And so that I know I'm closer to my transition. I have less life on this earth ahead of me than I have behind me. I don't think I'll live to be 150. So I'm just like, 152 perhaps. Anyway, so I know that I don't want to waste a moment. I'm a devoted grandmother, and Don is a devoted grandfather. The kids live down the street, and the other ones live around the corner. And yes, I'm weary sometimes, but I think, time passes so quickly. I don't want to miss a moment with these precious little ones. I don't want to miss a moment. And as tired as I might be or something else, once I'm in that presence of those little children, it doesn't matter how tired I am uplifted. So years ago, now some of you know Marie Luther. Marie has attended this church from time to time, and she attended a class that I was facilitating. I don't remember what class it was, whether it was Unity Basics or a prosperity class. And in it, she was learning about affirmations and claiming what it is that we want to claim for our lives. And the desire of her heart was to be a glass artist. And so she was working full-time at SU in the accounting department. She had access to a studio there, but she worked full-time and she was tired. And she said, after that class, she said, an artist responds to the impulse or the inspiration that they get, and they express and create. So I can change my thinking of I want to be an artist to I am a glass artist. And she started thinking about that. And what does a glass artist do? They create. And so she began drawing designs, and she began staying at the campus in the art studio long hours, or at home she set up a studio, I believe, till 11, 12 at night. And she was exhausted, but there was something in her that was fed and fulfilled. And Marie went on to be and is a glass art. I have one of her beautiful plates. And if you've ever been to the chapel at the Oncology Center at Upstate, she made the pond and waterfall. It's a glass mural there. She is a glass artist. She didn't waste her time wanting something to be different. She gave up saying, when I retire, I don't have enough time, or blah, 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 blah. She gave up all those excuses, and she embraced the truth of her being, that she was indeed a glass artist. And so she became that. So she was a glass artist. She did what glass artists do, and then she has the evidence to show it. She has these beautiful art pieces of artwork. So a lot of us get up in the morning and make a to-do list. Anybody here? Okay. So Jerry Jampolsky and his wife Diane, he is the originator of attitudinal healing. They get up, well, Jerry has passed, but together they would get up in the morning, and instead of a to-do list, they would write a to-be list. Wow, isn't that interesting? And so they would make this list today: to be kind, to be compassionate, to be patient, to be non-judgmental, to be curious, to be open-minded, and so on. They would make a to-be list. And then at the end of the day, they could review, how have I been during the day? And in that way, they could continue to grow in their to be list, the words, the concepts. So one of their words was to be grateful. And Ed, you're already doing that, to be grateful. So I think that this thing of being grateful is the key to everything. And I have a book here called Wake Up Grateful. And it's written by Christy Nelson, who is the director of gratefulness.org. Gratefulness.org was started by Brother David Stendel-Rast. And he is an Austrian monk. He is a monk who was from Austria. And he grew up at the time that the Nazis occupied Austria. He grew up seeing neighbors, friends disappear. They were gone, and he knew that they had died. He grew up with war around him and that constant threat of being taken away or, hurt, and he even was served at a time in a training camp. But he and his friends said they lived a very joyful childhood. Well, how could that be? He said, because there was so much loss and threat around us that every moment we had was the only moment we knew we had, and so we appreciated it and we lived it to the fullest. Isn't that the truth? This is the only moment we have. And so he embraced that, and he went on, if you haven't ever visited gratefulness.org, do so, and listen to his gratefulness blessing, where it's beautiful. He has this gorgeous accent, and he talks, and the pictures are lovely, in which he delineates, this is the day like no other day, and he just goes on from there. But in her book, now Christy Nelson herself was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at age 33, and her prognosis was not good. But she suddenly, every moment was a precious moment, because she didn't know when she might make her transition. She recovered, she healed, and she said every moment was so beautiful. But over time, because she lived under the fear and the threat of the return of cancer, she said she appreciated so much every single moment that she had that was a good one. And she said, but over time, as the years started to pass and the cancer didn't return, everything, she said, fell into taking it for granted. And then she said, I want to have what I had then. I want to appreciate and be joyful in every moment. And so she started a practice of gratefulness. So she says, gratefulness does not reserve itself for only when good things happen or you get what you want. It is more simply saying it is more than simply saying thank you when things go well or counting your blessings at the end of the day. Gratefulness reveals the deeper truth. I woke up today. I can still notice beauty after another hard day. It enables us to have the tenacity to attend and respond in a more resilient way to our challenges. It is a perspective shift to, no matter what happens, I still know that every moment offers me something for which to feel thankful, and I make myself available to that exploration. Gratefulness opens us to the opportunity to experience gratitude in every moment. Gratefulness is gratitude for life itself. It reminds us that in simply being alive, we are always receiving. While gratitude as we know it needs something good to happen, gratefulness only needs to be awake. Gratefulness is a way of being that helps us to focus our attention and navigate our lives with gratitude as our compass. with a grateful orientation, we bring awareness to all that is miraculous about life and awaken to the opportunities in every moment. We all deal with moments and experiences that cause us to feel disconnected, disoriented. Life will knock us off course in any number of ways. Unexpected bad news, our own suffering, that of others, abrupt change or loss. Small daily disappointments, heartaches, and tensions also disorient us. Successfully navigating life in its fullness calls for resilience and reorienting ourselves in a way that can help meet and greet whatever unfolds. As a way of being, gratefulness can offer a compass and trail markers to help you find your way back to a state of well-being wherever you lose your way. Gratefulness becomes true north. So even if you're suffering for some reason, the beauty in a moment, to look at a tree, a bird, hear the song, there is some fullness of life that is expressing right before your very eyes that can be perceived by your five senses, and you have the opportunity in every moment to open your eyes and see it. Don't waste our energy. Don't waste our thoughts. Don't waste our ability to choose where to put our focus. Don't waste our time. Don't waste our opportunity that presents itself in every moment. Yes, do not, waste not, want not. We will not want anything but to know that that fullness of life is right here in this moment. And so it is. And so let's just take a few moments to center ourselves in the fullness of this moment, the great fullness of this moment. As you become aware of your breath, that is a source of gratefulness. Your breath is the breath of God, choosing to express in and through you right here and right now. You are alive. This breath of God is breathing you into existence. In this moment, you can feel the great fullness of the life within you as you focus on the beating of your heart, the pulse. This is life within, giving you the opportunity to notice the life around you, the life in which we swim. The great fullness of life continues to express itself in the beauty of nature, in her resilience. Pause, appreciate, awaken. Right here, right now. There is a person sitting near you. That is the life of God expressing individually, uniquely. Have gratefulness. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. God is life. God is light. God is love. for knowing this, for living from this. We are truly grateful. And so it is. And so I leave you with an affirmation. I'll read it. I choose to be aware of the goodness of life in this moment. I choose to be aware of the goodness of life in this moment. Say that with me. I choose to be aware of the goodness of life in this moment. Thank you.
I choose to be aware of the goodness of love in this moment and in every moment. That was beautiful. I keep a journal of what I have to do during each day. It's sort of like a calendar book. I'm going to add what I need to be to each day. Thank you, CYBIE. Thank you. So our mission statement: Unity of Syracuse inspires, awakens, and transforms lives through unlimited love, prayer, and service. Now, if our ushers would please come forward and pass the baskets to receive tithes, gifts, and love offerings. The strength and substance of our church is what we offer to one another, including our time, our talent, and our treasure. We invite you to give to us through our donate button on our website or on Facebook, or send tithes and offerings to Unity of Syracuse, 300 West Seneca Turnpike, Syracuse 13207. Or you can sign up for electronic giving, and you don't even have to think about it. But do think about it. Think about the idea that you're doing something, giving something. So let us say together a blessing of our offerings. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source. We bless this abundant supply given to further the work of our ministry. We give in love and are blessed by Spirit's constant outpouring of good. We live in an abundant world. Thank you, God. Amen. And now let's call to mind our young people and bless them wherever they are. And if you'll join me in this blessing, we bless all children wherever they are, and we see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. We have a thriving and edifying youth and family ministry. Thank you to our YFM teachers, parents, our children, our leaders, and all of you. We are grateful for everyone who is a part of this service, no matter how you are a part, whether you're here or whether you're online. We bless you. And now, if we would rise and say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was given to me. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Please begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my song. Take each moment and bear each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin. Thank you, everyone. And remember, our prayer chaplain, Nancy, is available to pray with you. And please join us for fellowship downstairs. Thank you.